Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Whenever I think the U.S. healthcare system can't get any more messed up, I read stories like this. Well done, OP. Well done. Love it. Here we go. Tell me the doctor who saw me for an emergency room visit is out of network? You'll get your money eventually. I had to go to the ER a few years ago because I got something stuck in my eye. The pain was excruciating, and it was bad enough that the urgent care clinic said I really needed to go to the ER. I go to the ER, get through triage, and immediately see a doc who flushed, dyes, scopes, and eventually is able to get the burr out of my eye without blinding me. All good, I think, because the hospital's in network. Well, fine readers, it turns out that while a hospital may be in network, you can be treated by a doctor in an emergency room and get a bill for thousands of dollars because the doctor you saw for an emergency was an independent contractor and therefore out of network. I was floored to get a $3,100 bill for the care I received. Sure, I was happy that I wasn't blind, but $3,100 seemed steep. I called, and sure enough, the facility fees were almost nothing thanks to the insurance discount, but no discount at all on the doctor. I was very angry because I really had no choice in who saw me. And if there had been no in-network doctor on duty, would I have had to wait? So I hatched a plan. They would not negotiate on price at all. I thought this was ridiculous. I could have paid the bill, but I have principles, damn it. I told the billing folks that I couldn't afford the bill and wanted a payment plan. I'm not sure if there's a law requiring them to accept a payment plan, but they agreed and asked what I could afford. I told them $10 a month. Here's the thing about medical bills. They can't charge you interest on them. They also can't report you to collections if you're paying. Finally, it has zero impact on your credit score if you take a payment plan, unless it goes to collections. So now for a procedure I was billed $3,100 for a little more than 2 years ago, I've paid $260 on. I have the $10 a month on auto pay, and I've basically forgotten about it. They'll get their $3,100, but it'll be over almost 24 more years, and they'll spend almost $150 in postage mailing me a bill every month that immediately goes into the shredder to be recycled. And our second story. I know we don't carry that, because I do the ordering. So I was just reminded of this interaction I had about 2 years ago after talking about something similar that just happened to a coworker of mine. I used to work in a grocery retailer that rhymes with Mafeway Balbertsons. At this place, I worked in the coffee kiosk, Buckstars. That was another large retailer. Not too important, but I was there every single day. Basically from opening until closing. We were extremely short-staffed, 3 baristas including me, and the other 2 were so unreliable, they may as well have not showed up at all. Sometimes they didn't. And if you're wondering why I was the one to cover all their screw-ups, it was because I was the supervisor/manager. It was my responsibility to cover all call-outs, no-shows. Needless to say, I knew my crap and was basically a one-person show. Well, one day I was working a 13-hour shift, and the day had already started off really rough. I'd been called a dumb butt for trying to ring up someone's personal cup because it looked unused and had the barcode still on it. And I had another woman try to accuse me of poisoning her coffee. She was not in her right mind, but I've dealt with her before. So I was already done with the day, and my shift was only halfway over. Well, I'm standing at the counter with my ordering guide, ironically enough, as you'll see in a minute, sitting in front of me while I pace back and forth to see what supplies we have and which are needed. I haven't even made it to the floor merchandise when I hear the very common and very frustrating call. RB, excuse me? I look up and see Rude B, RB, standing at one of the displays out on the floor. This one held all of our coffee beans and instant coffee packets, as well as a couple of French presses. Now, it's probably safe to note that I'm a very positive person outwardly. I have my struggles, but I never make those outwardly known, meaning I'll always pitch positively to people because I'm a firm believer in the saying, if you go into something with a negative perspective, all you're going to find is more negativity. Anyway, I respond, me, hi, what can I help you with today? Are you looking for something in RB, where the F are your instant cold brews? Me, taken aback by the force and anger in her words, oh, well, we actually don't carry those at our location. RB, well, that's an effing lie because I bought them here last week. Me, Well, did you possibly buy them somewhere else? RB, no, I bought them here. At this point, she seemed to, very quickly, begin acting unhinged. I was kind of scared, not gonna lie. Me, ma'am, I promise we don't. RB, I bought them here last week. Where the hell is your manager? I swallow back the lump in my throat as I tried to hold back tears in my eyes. I cry at confrontation very easily and am quite sensitive. Looking back, I definitely was not the type of person who should take on a managerial role, but I was desperate for the money and experience. Me, I'm the manager, ma'am. I'm the supervisor of the bar. She swears some more and then demands the store director. Luckily enough, he was actually in the bakery nearby, so he heard the commotion and was already on his way over. As I was walking towards the phone to page him over the intercom, he rounded the corner and stood at the end of the bar next to the lady. As a quick mention, I'd like to note that my store director was a very large, kind, and soft-hearted man. He was the father figure every kid dreamed of, basically a 6'6" teddy bear. SD, everything all right over here? RB, your supervisor over here apparently doesn't know how to place orders. I'm looking for cold brew instant packets and she claims you don't sell them. I bought them here last week. My store director looks to me, confused, because this is all foreign to him. Unlike the other departments, he has not a clue about how the coffee bar works, as it's a different company and therefore we run on Buckstar's ordering system. SD, ma'am, I apologize, but I promise you OP knows the ordering system much better than I do. There are far too many special tasks in each department in our store for me to know. I trust that my managers and supervisors are the best at what they do. RB scoffs and rolls her eyes, throwing her hands up in exasperation. Before she gets another word out, I direct my attention to SD. Me. SD, I promise you we've never carried this product. Corporate stores do, but not the kiosks. It's not even an available option in my ordering guide. Here, I can show you. SD looks down at the woman with that look of, we're about to end this once and for all, before he comes and looks at my ordering guide. Now, admittedly, he had no idea what he was looking for, and he told me so later when we were talking about the incident. He scans the page as I show him exactly where the item would be if it were to be in our guide. SD, ma'am, she's right. There's no spot in her guide that allows for ordering that product. There must be a misunderstanding. Before I can even apologize to the woman, she screeched and stormed off, not saying another word. I heard later that she pulled something similar over in the produce section, and it escalated to the point where she was trespassed off the property. I unfortunately didn't get to witness it because produce was on the exact opposite side of the store. Either way, my SD actually let me close the bar down for the rest of the day that day, as she saw just how shaken up I was about the situation. Edit. I think she might have meant instant iced coffees because I'm pretty sure cold brew was never a thing. I didn't bring this to her attention at the time because I was so taken aback I could barely speak properly. And our next story. I'm looking for your dad, not some punk kid like you. About 21 years ago, I co-owned and operated a small IT business with my then girlfriend. We operated out of our residence. We mostly did mobile tech support, though we had an attached office just for the business where new clients could visit. My girlfriend/business partner did most of the mobile work where I stayed at the office, with the exception of a few particular clients whom had taken a liking to me. On a particularly hot summer day, this was in a southern state so it was both hot and really muggy, a woman came in carrying a MacBook. She looked down at the seated me. Go get your dad and hurry it up. I was very tempted to roll my eyes and sigh out loud. I got this kind of reaction more than I could count, unfortunately. I have a baby face, even now in my mid-40s. I've been busted by truancy officers 3 times in the last 4 years, and must maintain a full beard to be taken seriously. Beard's about half gray these days, so it helps more than you might think. I can't help you, ma'am. We don't work on Macintosh systems at all, I informed her. I'm looking for your dad, not some punk kid like you. Now go get him. Madam, I'd had enough by this point and growled my words. I don't think that you understand. I am the owner of this business. We do not work on Apple computers and I'm not listening. She had crossed her arms and even stamped a foot. Listen here, lady. If you don't leave, I will trespass you and call the sheriffs over to remove you. She refused to budge, going so far as to sit at the other desk, my partner's desk. No, I'm not listening to some snot-nosed kid. I'm 24, you cow, I shouted. She rolled her eyes, and by this point I'd finished dialing the non-emergency police number. An hour later, having thankfully endured the silent treatment while we waited, 2 deputies arrived and escorted her outside, giving her 2 options: leave in her own vehicle or leave in the back of their cruiser. Thankfully, she chose the former. The deputies were still there when my business partner got back home, and she found it entirely hilarious. At the time, I just glared at her laughing, as I didn't think it was funny then. And our last story. No, you will not dig holes in my yard. I recently moved into a property that backs up to an HOA neighborhood. My yard adjacent to about 4 of theirs. I'm not part of the HOA. The road to my house is a small private road and runs parallel to their private road. So when I first moved in, the county told me my trash pickup location was on their road. Mine's not got a good spot for a trash truck to turn around. After about 2 pickups, I find a note on my trash can with the usual HOA bullcrap. Can't leave my can on their road, etc., etc. Whatever, I take it to the end of my road and that works fine. Next try, I get hooked up with gas, because electric heating's expensive AF. Nearest gas line runs down their road, the utility is cool with it, but they block the construction. Fine, I install a tank and shortly thereafter get a note on my door saying the noise from the installation was disturbing and the tank's an eyesore. It's a buried tank, and you can't even see the cap from the HOA properties. That was that for around 6 months, except a few complaints of me mowing outside of HOA-designated mowing hours, but within county hours, until a flatbed with a backhoe backs into my driveway. I walk out to see what's going on. Apparently, the sewer connection for the HOA runs under my property. Something's clogged, and they need to tear the pipe up to get a look. Long story short, apparently the builder had some handshake deal with the previous owner about the sewer line and gave up a few bucks to let them run it through the property. No easement on the deed, nothing in writing. I sent the backhoe guy off. Next, HOA president comes and knocks on my door. Tells me the sewer's causing backup in several of the houses and no one can use their toilets, shower, run sinks, etc. until it's fixed. And rerunning the sewer down their road instead of across my property is going to cost millions they don't have and take months. I said something like, "Man, that sucks for you guys. Hope you get it fixed soon." Sign says no trespassing though, so if you could keep off the property, I'd appreciate it. Have a nice day. I got a letter from their lawyer with a lot of threats a bit later, but didn't see much to back them up legally. Figure they can take me to court if they want. They had some giant, loud, mobile poop tank stuck in someone's backyard for the past 3 months, and I see no signs of new pipe. A few of the HOA residents stopped by and said the houses were basically unlivable with the pump, could only take 5-minute showers, only flush number 2, can't sleep from the noise, costs a lot, someone lost a house sale, etc. And they didn't have any part of the HOA stupidity other than living in it. I told them I feel for them, but that HOAs have been a pain in my rear since week 1, and I'm not inclined to let them go driving construction equipment across and digging holes in a yard I worked pretty hard on after the way they've been treating me. They told me I was an a-hole. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.